But regardless, taking complexity to round number 46 in order to get defeated, that's quite a feat, I would say, on any map, especially on Ancient. Very well done by them. You mentioned they've lost to Badass, or to, I guess it's Elevate now. They've gone 1-for-1, so blow for blow in the long term. Should be a strong map for NRG. The question is, do Carpe Diem have anything up their sleeve? The numbers don't go in their favor. The head-to-head doesn't go in their favor. Even the comparison of the orgs doesn't go in their favor. We'll see if they can surprise us with something flashy. Carpe Diem, the T side to start things off. A smoke early towards B. Breeze taking up shelter in towards the caves with his teammate. Doolies in hand. Hex flashed in. Gushed, though, and dispatched. The second player does offer resistance, but only a paltry amount, 1-for-1. 4 versus 3 secured. The spam does good damage, but that damage is not confirmed. And is there a kit in play? Was there a kit dropped towards caves? Or will this be a 10-second defuse on the cards for NRG? Walco, the flank is good. Timely for a first, but 3 more now entrenched. And those dualies in cave proved to be a very meddlesome tool indeed. Lake pushing forward. Automatic gets another. Things are looking good for NRG, but time is of the essence. Gushed his OC through a wall. Not much damage taken. Stick coming through from Walco, and there is cover from OC. Automatic as well, holding long. And right when I thought NRG might fail that first hurdle at 3 versus 4, they get it across the line with a very clean and convincing retake.
That flank started it off, and then Automatic being a turret on the hold, making sure that the bomb could get diffused up on the site. There was no kit purchased by NRG. OC dropping over the dualies and picking up some utility. Other than that, it was just the USPs that had to get the job done, and get the job done they did. Carpe Diem, though, going to go all in. Minimal utility. 3 smokes, 1 already thrown, 2 tossed as well now. Off the rip, Galil's across the board and armor. NRG, are they prepared for this? 3 MP9s could really hurt them if it comes to a prolonged retake scenario. That's a messy spray for Automatic, and he does get punished 1-for-1. OC meets the same fate. It's Micro and Arcade. 3v3 now with full mid control given over to Carpe Diem, given the early aggression from NRG, and Arcade is taking full control of that position all the way through into house deep in the back lines as Seb and company make their way over to the A side. Walco's MP9, or Breeze rather, ready to hold the line against 2 pushing through. The M4's down in middle. 1 salvaged by Arcade. Seb clears on timing is perfect. That's the bomb site and probably the round as well. I don't suspect HexT and Walco want to go for this retake.
Definitely not. Maybe go for an exit, but saving these weapons should be paramount. Maybe grabbing a Galil towards middle. One was dropped in the recovery of that A1S for Arcade, but Arcade's holding that very same rifle, so it's not going to be given away for free. Arcade knows it's coming. Whiff spray, recovers, gets a good kill. But now the MP9 of Walco is a very deadly proposition up close and personal. Ooh, lifts the opportunity, though. Gives away the surprise. Delicate dance won by Walco, but will he be allowed to save this rifle? That's the big question. Seb might try to hunt him down. Goes down CT. Seb not going to force the issue. Save his Galil for the following. Makes sense. We trade rounds to start things off. 1 a pop. Walco might actually get so far away that he falls. No, he does take down Wiz. A very scary proposition, all things concerned. 1-1. NRG, do they force back in response? Yes, Boggs. The force buy wars have begun in earnest.
You just didn't want me to say it.
No, I didn't. Cut you off and it was going to come.
Obligated to.
Your best.
But I'm not going to. I will restrain myself.
Save for map 2.
I'll save it for if we go like 3 or 4 rounds deep into this.
Just sub the begin with the continue.
Yes. Doesn't quite have the same feeling as the Acclimator class assault ships in the Imperial March at the end of episode 2, but here comes the push into a pretty squishy B side. Only HexT here with a 5-7 to defend. It is the force buy, as mentioned, for NRG on the CT side. Bomb makes its lethargic way to site. Lake crosses in. That's 1 for the 5-7 up close. The bomb peaks for the push. That could have gone horribly, but Wiz is able to win that fight. Now it goes down. Walco unable to do anything from Cave. Just reveals his position by virtue of that spam. Automatic's engagement also comes up empty-handed, and he'll retreat into Jaguar with Walco. OC on the long flank has missed out his opportunity. Micro making sure he abandons that position and gets onto site, watching with range, trying to take advantage of the Galil in his hands. Domed by OC, however, and that's going to spur them forward. Should be a kit in Walco's hands. Indeed, there is a kill for him and Breeze. It's all up to Seb. One on the AK, only one. This is automatic to settle things down. A team ace on the force buy for NRG, and I think, Nate, given the money on Carpe Diem, it may be safe to say that begun the force buy wars have.
That might have been your best one yet.
I've been working on it.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you've been working off screen.
Oh, they're gonna half buy.
They had enough money.
Pretty smart here. I like this.
I say I like this. They don't have enough money to go for Galil. Actually, a couple of them do, but many of them don't.
Yeah.
So, given that they're over 2K and Micro has 3,500, they can cut their losses. They can go for an off in the next round, assuming they get a bomb plant. Question: will they get a bomb plant? That's the bigger question. HexT harvesting those players damaged by the nades. Good double ding from Arcade, but Walco's in his teammate's stead. 3-1 NRG finally breaking that blow for blow, that trade for trade by securing 2 in a row. Only losing 1 as well. X should get dropped the gun or buy 1 himself. There's enough money in the bank. Carpe Diem have their rifles as well, but the lack of a bomb plant prohibits an op. It also destines Seb and Arcade to lowly Galils, which can be difficult to wield at times.
No helmet for HexT, though. That could be a vulnerability in the NRG defense. But Carpe Diem really knew when to hold it, walk away, and run. X, though, gets the opener. Lots of nade damage into Snake. One of those kills already finished by the spam. Walco combining there as well, still aggressing behind that smoke and Jaguar. And that's a big amount of damage onto Lake, too, who's a pretty solid fragger for this Carpe Diem side. Take all that damage without anything to show for it. Great start for the NRG defense. Automatic spots out the cross, drops the smoke on the entrance to Donut, and holds the line, hoping somebody crosses through into his domain. And he repositions around it too, trying to throw them off guard. Time's dwindling down, just about a minute to go in the round. Utility becoming a bit sparse as well. Automatic tries to swing, punished by that Galil for Arcade. And that's the lone A defender as well. OC deals with Lake, but that's a long rotation back in. Breeze may beat it, however. He goes through Temple and misses the opportunity. Bomb goes down. Big money for the T side to be able to reinvest again. Breeze is spotted in Temple too. Hex and OC coming through Donut. Walco revealing with that spray through on the flank. Arcade doubles it up from sight. He's on the hat trick, looking for the ace. He's low, but he might have just done enough to stymie this retake. Breeze and Walco stuck towards CT. Molotov forces Wiz away. Walco takes advantage. They do have kits, but the lack of utility significantly hampers their ability to make this work. The tap, the time, it's running out. Make your play now. Run or die. Die Walco does in the end. Carpe Diem strike on the guns, and it's Arcade's 3-piece that really kicks it off.
Looked rather dire there for a second. 2 players marooned on the site, one watching one direction, one the other. No real cover to be spoken of, barring that smoke towards CT spawn. I thought NRG's play was a masterclass. 1 in Temple, 1 CT spamming to distract, 2 towards Cave, or towards Donut, excuse me, to pull off the retake, and yet they crumble. That double, as you mentioned from Seb, is an act of heroism. It saves the round for Carpe Diem and secures their second in the map, and it humbles NRG's economy in a big way. It's going to be a half buy going forward. 5-7 USPs, MP9 and a FAMAS. Sure, there's a kit that could give them some hope in a post plant, but there shouldn't be much hope in a round like this.
Should not be much hope at all. Micro should have first contact. Spots out automatic. The swing is actually dealt with. That's the FAMAS that's dropped early instead. OC is able to trade and get out of there with a kill on the FAMAS. He'll escape with his life and weapon in hand. Massive pickup there for OC, and also gets the man advantage to NRG. Full health and utility for the rest of the 3 remaining Carpe Diem players. HexT and Cave might be a very difficult player to unseat given the weaponry and the angle. Plus he has the armor too. Lake clears left, clears right, spotted out. Broadsides, headshot delivered again. Hex with that 5-7, finding another one. Wiz makes his way on site in the interim with Seb trailing up late. Automatic, half HP, knows they're coming. Wiz looks the wrong direction. Automatic can swing for the pair. And NRG can strike right back again. Back and forth the rounds go. Pistol for NRG. Second round for Carpe. Force buy for NRG plus the anti-eco. Carpe Diem win the next gun round, and then the force half buy investment from NRG yields them the next round. No stability for either side, yet NRG keeping just ahead of Carpe Diem.
Punishing Carpe Diem, not using smokes as they should, trying to clear angles with themselves rather than utility. This T side has now been humbled. It's their turn to face a bitter truth. NRG, their economy bolstered in a big way. They're going to recycle as many rifles as possible. And also keep a good amount of money in the bank for everybody barring Breeze. Breeze is at 0, but everybody else is above 3K. That's quite a good spot to be in for this CT side. Carpe Diem, it's their turn to go for an investment, and they'll go for a full one. Seb, the only one saving anything. He has about 1,900 in the bank, perhaps for an op going forward. There's 2 Galils on Micro and Lake. A Deagle for Wiz. We'll have to see if their hopes can be recognized like NRG's were in the round prior.
Both teams have been good on the more broken buys. But sooner or later, the trend has to be bucked. Somebody will begin to string consistent gun rounds together. Arcade, I believe, spotted the hand to Breeze. The smoke will definitely give away that position. And Lake dispatches OC. Double tap with the Galil. Might have another target as well. Engages. But both HexT and Lake elect to hold. The Molotov from Hex forces him out. And he'll double up too. Walco gets caught swapping guns, but he will get his Galil out in time. Trade attempt from Wiz is connected, and so does Micro on Breeze. We're into a 2v2 now, and Wiz upgrades to a Galil from a lowly Deagle. He'll be booking it out towards mid as Micro clears up through Donut. However, HexT is hot on his heels. Automatic, Guardian of A now. Shuts down the entry. Nade goes out, tickles Wiz to 87. Drops that smoke, gets the bomb down. That's the money at least guaranteed for Carpe Diem. And a small victory, but not the full one, as HexT through the smoke traces Wiz. And that will be consecutive rounds won with guns versus guns for NRG. And the money for Carpe Diem not really good enough for a full investment, a half buy likely. So we should see a 6th for NRG. Keyword should.
Yeah, everybody force bought for Carpe Diem. While the bomb plant definitely helps their economic woes, it would not solve them without that full loss bonus behind it. So we'll see that half buy, as you mentioned, some pistols, maybe some armor. Seb should be saving the bulk of his cash for an op if they want it going forward. NRG on the other side aren't going to go for an op. They definitely could have given their economic situation. Automatic's still sitting at 6.5K thereabouts for crying out loud, but they've read the economy well. They know it's going to be a half buy more than likely. OC on an MP9, looking to make the most of it. This is a good read from them economically. We'll have to see. Carpe Diem, can they make a round out of these pistols? They have a Tech 9, they have P250s. I will say, in the early goings of this map, the 5.7 has reigned supreme as the pistol.
It's been the guardian of those close-range duels. Meanwhile, the full-body sprint has worked out. Bomb plant accomplished. That was the goal. Can they hold? They're being dismantled. 2 for each. HexT and Automatic. Walco combines with OC for the last one. And that will be a flawless anti-half buy for NRG to stabilize the CT economy. Get them to a 4-round lead as we get towards the tail end of this half now. Things looking much stronger for NRG on the CT side. Carpe Diem not really able to do too much lately. Being suffocated by the anchors. And the thing is, too, for NRG, they're more than content to let Carpe Diem get the bomb down. They're just able to smother them on the retake.
The retakes have been very good, barring, again, that heroic play from Seb on A site when he was stuck in a corner. And even then, I thought that retake was expertly played, and that the heroism of Seb is the one that really bailed him out in that round. Op for Wiz is in play now. Op for OC also in effect. This could be a duel early on if it's presented. Wiz, though, playing rather passive towards middle. No early duels being taken, and NRG, what is their setup? A player donut, a player in the cubby, a player A watching towards main, 2 on B in towards the caves.
Slow, methodical. Carpe Diem move around, looking for their first victim, an entry, an angle somewhere. Smoke into red. The off entries to Donut, and Wiz connects onto Breeze. The spray towards red keeps automatic at bay. He'll transition off now. OC shotgun opping at the entrance to Donut. Tries to slam the door. Deals with his foe on the opposition. Now automatic back in red room. Spots out one. The arm of Arcade shows. There still is a second as well. Micro swinging in first. Messy spray from automatic. Expected Micro to go full wide swing. And that throws him off enough for Micro to convert that kill. Man advantage to Carpe Diem as they'll sprint onto OC's angle. Hex is coming around behind, but will he get there in time? He's been heard, but OC still deals the first. Arcade falls to Hex, and OC's still alive and kicking. Knows the last two are coming A main. Hears him, swings one, backs away. Hex is here, but Hex has fallen. 15 seconds to go. About 10 to get that bomb down to dirt. Seb fakes it. Goes in. NRG playing this incredibly riskily, but again, they're fond of the retake. They don't feel the need to pressure. Massive damage from Walco onto Lake through that spam. The bomb begins to tick away. Kit on both. OC has utility. And Carpe Diem would be wise to hide. Do not face. Do not give the opportunity to the op. That's a miffed nade for sure. Now they're going to have to go in full guns blazing. The op, not the best gun in this situation. Seb, it's all down to timing. He's missed about spotted, but Walco's backstabbed. Seb dealt with by the op. Time is of the essence. OC has the angle. He should be able to get it. Swings out, hits the shot. And I think he's got that defuse. OC with the quad plus the clutch. And another round for NRG on the board. Coming down to a retake. And a very close one at that. Luckily for the CT side, their coffers are flush with cash.
Yes, they are. Pause called by Carpe Diem. They're feeling the pressure at this point. 2-7. They've lost any advantage they could have had heading into the second half, but at this point they can find themselves down by miles if things keep going the way they've been going. 10-2 is a possibility for NRG. OC hitting shots with the op, now leading behind Hex, second in command, and it's very ironic we highlighted Breeze because he's kind of a quiet-ish time. He's woken up recently, but this map, not the case. Very quiet on his team at 2-6, but nothing much has been asked of him. He's been that support towards the middle, that second man to help the opper, to enable the opper. So his overall score does make sense in the grand scheme.
Indeed it does. Does Carpe Diem go back into this? Arcade on the Galil. He's had success with it. Leading the scoreboard for Carpe Diem as well. 7 kills, 4 and 3 across the rest. OC climbing towards the top of the NRG scoreboard. That op back towards Donut, automatic in middle again. Breeze in A main. Flirting with the idea of going all the way through. He elects to hold the line for now. A little bit of utility going back and forth in middle from both sides. Automatic pops that smoke, but it goes a little high. He'll have to use some of his ammunition to peer through it more. It doesn't seem that either team is really too committed to a fight anywhere on the map just yet. Micro beginning to move his way up, though, and the in-game leader runs into his counterpart. And Walco wins that. The double dink through the wall. Breeze gets his kill as well, pushing through A main. The bomb down deep, but not spotted by Breeze. Carpe Diem down 2. Without a single trade. Good amount of damage, but still a 2-shot HP on Walco. Line up here for Arcade. He takes a shot from OC, but it's a leg. Molotov will not finish OC off. He'll have to smoke it out. No, he'll just dip on through. Toss his own flame. His automatic falls in the interim. Lake's bringing it back to a 3v3 now to level footing. OC on site misses. That's the side open. Arcade. How is he still alive? He gets so lucky, but he's spotted over the smoke into a 2v2 now. And that gives life to NRG on the retake.
2v2 even footing, and Walco has been so influential with these flanks. Saw it towards B main in the pistol round. We're seeing it again now towards A main, and it's all on timing. The player back behind the box. That is Wiz. Watching a variety of angles. Worried about Temple. And unfortunately, that's where he's looking as the peek comes through. Walko finds the first time. Less than half the time left. Lake in towards Donut. Makes himself known. Finds the first. Good duel isolated, but he needs the second as well. Walko is planted for his adversary. And he's low on HP. This is done. At this point, Lake is secured the round. And will Walko be allowed to save? How big is the radius? It's too big is the answer. Walko taken down. Going down with the ship. And at long last, Carpe Diem put a third on the board, but it's a costly one. 4/5 of the team falls. And meanwhile, NRG can rest on the coffers. They have lots of money saved up on a majority of the squad. Breeze will need to drop, sure, but everything should be dandy on this defense, whereas Carpe Diem will still suffer the woes of Galils for Arcade and Seb.
Those Galils still have been deadly, though. You can't discount them in the hands of Carpe Diem. They've made their mark. Walko and HexT without helms as well. OC2 lacking the adornment of a helmet. Micro all the way up Snake eats that nade. Lake takes one as well. Spam damage doing more. Counter utility used doing 0. CT side flashed in. Micro's blind, but he hits the headshot on automatic. That's a good start here for Carpe Diem. Might be down on health, but they're up a man now. Breeze trying to hold from Donut. OC peeking out through mid, taking up the position. Drops the nade and Arcade. That's a nice little evener here for NRG as we hit towards the minute 10 mark of the round. Breeze retreating, making sure nobody's gone through A main as defense is getting a little awkward now. Hex through. Pushes for one on Snake. Walko pops out as HexT had retreated. He's got help from Breeze in mid, however. And it's all down to Micro, stuck in mid. Nothing he can do to survive. He's not long for the world. And the 11th goes the way of NRG. The Carpe Diem round victories isolated yet again as we hit the final round of the first half.
Difficult spot for them to be. No plant to give them an extra injection of cash. It's likely going to be 9 unless they have something to say about it. Now, Carpe Diem, when they get the rifles in hand, they slow things down immensely. They really focus on that mid control for a split, either A or B. I think it's been mainly towards A. That's kind of readable. NRG making the most of it, punishing them for it, not even allowing a bomb site take that time around. Love to see Carpe Diem up that pace like they're using pistols. In Arcade, he got the memo, no one else did. He's caught immediately, isolated alone towards middle. At least we're seeing a walk towards A main, something different without that accompanying middle push.
Yeah, the ops here too could get overwhelmed easily by the pistols, but that's good pathing from OC on the first. Misses the shot on the second, allowing Wiz to pick up an op, his primary weapon, and toss a Molotov into Donut. Micro, however, falls. Wiz good for one, caught from the side by automatic. Lake lurking, last alive, 1v2, but it is winnable. The bomb is down on A. Automatic half HP. HexT, no helm. The Galil can one-shot, headshot both the remaining players of NRG. Lots of time to work with for Lake. But can he find the drop on his opponents? Lurking in the depths. Holding.
Should be no chance.
Should
Bomb's
be.
outside of Donut. If he can get there quick enough,
He's
there's actually
got
no one
time.
holding the bomb proper. He can grab it and run towards B. He can go CT if he slips the gap right. He's paranoid about these close angles.
Too.
He definitely isolated a duel. The issue is these players are so far removed. But just close enough where they could swing out and get map control.
They know
would
it's
be
gone.
assumed free. And yeah, there we go. They finally checked that bomb. Lake is headed for the hills, but will Lake be quick enough? That's the question. It looks like he will. NRG are going to allow him that time. Yeah, they're not rotating. They're playing together. They group up. It's a smart call. Lake trying to take as much space for granted as possible, throwing that smoke. But Hex isn't going to respect it. He's going to flash in. He has no support. That player's really far away, but Hex will not be punished for it. The defuse will come through. 9-3 will be the score at the half, and we'll see you after the halftime break.
We're back in action here. Half number 2 between NRG and Carpe Diem. The first of 2 isolated best of ones between these two teams this evening. I'm Boggs, and with me is Pineapple Phillips. And so far, we've seen a very close and scrappy start between these two teams become a very lopsided half, favoring NRG on the CT side. And Nate, you made a very astute observation about Carpe Diem's change of pace, or lack of change of pace, rather, when they get the guns in hand. And I think that's a big part of why the scoreline is such a deep chasm.
Yes, it is. It's been a very difficult start. I'd say it's a must-win at this stage for the pistol round of Carpe Diem. They're well set up to rebuke an A-site take, and that block of the flash does not help the T side, but it won't stop HexT from starting things off right. Wiz failing those shots. Lake a pair. Breeze and Walco, though, answering a kind, and the late flank of Automatic all but does it in. All but confirms the round. Micro, the last alive towards CT spawn, is walled off by Smoke, finally allowed to go, but Walco up close. His pistol's favored in that kind of duel, and he will not miss. 10-3 secured. Seemingly insurmountable lead at this stage, and Carpe Diem, I feel like they'll be compelled to force buy into it, but it's not going to be a pretty one.
Not going to be a pretty one indeed, but it's a necessary force buy here. Unless they want to play down by 8, 11-3, which they might actually elect to do. Either way, their backs are against the wall, and I don't necessarily hate this decision. It's picking a no-win situation. And they're going to go with that save here, buy next, and have one round of buffer once the full guns come out. Also, we do have a birthday boy in chat, Nate. Happy birthday to JT. So, just want to give the Complexity IGL some happy birthday wishes.
Who?
JT.
Who? It's a stack towards B and a stack that doesn't pay off.
Well, it's 50-50 odds of working.
NRG now 2 for naught on going towards A. No frills in this round, nothing extravagant or overly complex. Just using their weapons, clearing their angles, getting sight control, realizing it's free, and allowing Carpe Diem to do whatever they will do. In this case, they're going to go for a snake play around the flank towards T spawn. They're just going to sit in this corner. I guess the idea is the unknown might frighten the T side a bit. Maybe they did force and they're saving their Kevlar for the next round. Who knows?
Fear is the mind killer, Nate.
Quoting Dune, that's crazy.
You're the guy who's reading God Emperor of Dune right now.
Surprised you remembered what book I was on. That's crazy. 11-3. Lackluster end to a confusing round. Carpe Diem saving those USPs. Again, fear is the mind killer. It's the theme. They will now go for an investment. It's kind of all over the place. We have an AWP for Wiz, an M4 for Lake, a FAMAS for Micro, MP9s to round out the buy. Could definitely work out, but it's going to need a little bit of luck. NRG going for that full bonus, as you would expect, off the back of a flawless victory. And it's a no-frills play, straight out A main. It's not been punished. Why not, or why stop it, excuse me. Wiz, back temple. Nice little sliver of an angle to find one and tag a second. Can he bag another? That's the question. No. They've crossed into sight. Plant will go down shortly. Arcade, though, already up in towards Donut. He's actually doubled up with a teammate. They'll begin this retake here after that smoke subsides. Automatic, a late flank potentially on the cards. That could be huge as a third has rotated around and migrated in towards Donut. Pop of the smoke comes, the MP9 at point, a belabored spray and one that favors the MAC-10. Micro a trade through the smoke. HexT, though, answers with Wiz, and the Glock of Breeze amidst the chaos finds another. That late flank finally activates, but will it be enough? That's the question. It gets one. No, it gets none, excuse me. Breeze is the one to find it instead. And despite the low HP of both HexT and Breeze, they will get it across the line. 12-3 for NRG. Carpe Diem, next to nothing to work with.
Well, the man we highlighted as the player to watch comes up with a huge round with the Glock kill and then 3 more. The MAC-10 low HP not going to stop Breeze. He finds the round, secures map point for NRG. They just need one more. And of course, this round will be a force buy for Carpe Diem. There's no reason to save here because if they lose it, they're done. So the MP9's on 4. The Scout on Wiz, a good amount of HEs, a decent amount of utility considering the lack of overall funds for the CT side. The op is there for OC, the M4 on Breeze, everybody else adorned with the Kalashnikov, and another A play. Little more frills this time, Nate. A smoke towards CT, flashes going in, Molotovs clearing out angles. A blind tag onto HexT, but will it actually matter in the grand scheme? Walko's holding for the flank. One dealt with, two domed, cannot quite ring the third in, but he's at least established a man advantage for NRG as that timer begins to tick. Micro has the upgrade. Wiz is done. Put down by the op of OC. It's all down to Micro and Arcade now, and it's not fun in games anymore. Micro caught with utility. Arcade able to salvage one, but he's got 3 more to deal with, and time is not his friend. It is his enemy, and so is Automatic. Map victory for NRG, 13-3. And I think that's why they wanted Vertigo gone, Nate.
I agree. A far stronger showing in this head-to-head than the last. As you mentioned, that Yan Xiaoping Open qualifier was a loss 13-6 on Vertigo. Not nearly the same. It was a one-sided affair.